Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to put a background image on your home page. So by the end of this tutorial you will know how to have something like this. Like as you can see, you can select this, select all these, with also some hover effects on your navigation and then some hover effects on your button as well. As you can see, they are different on each button. So by the end of this tutorial you will know how to do all those. So if you want to follow along with me, I always find it easier to learn if you're like following along. So if you want to do that, you can download this image that I'm using. You can just go to Google, type in background image HD, search. It's here. It's this one on top here. You just select it, make sure you save it, select it, save it, and make sure you have it on your same page and same folder as your project. You should have the same, you should be in the same folder. So yeah, and you can follow along with me. So I'm really excited to show you guys this, so make sure you follow along, and let's get to the video. As you can see, I have my HTML file open up here. I also have my CSS file open up here. There is nothing, so I already link my CSS file to my HTML. If you don't know how to link your CSS file to your HTML, I will leave the link in the description, since I did a video about this before, and I'll also put it maybe on top there on the YouTube card, so you can just click on top there. So to get started, we have to create a div. Will give it a class. Let's give it an ID name of wrapper, and then inside this wrapper div we create a navigation. Inside the navigation we keep with an h1 heading, which is Condoa tag, and then we give start and restart, and then the restart, which is home, about us, and then let's say services, and then the last one, let's just do these four simple ones, and then contact. So you got this navigation here, and outside of this navigation, but inside of this wrapper div, we create another div. We give it a class name, of let's say background. Let's just call it background, and then inside here we put an image thing, the source. We give it the same name as our image here, same name, which is background. So that's the div that will hold our background image. So we just say background.jpg, the format of the image, and then outside of this background we create another div. And then this div want to give it a class name of let's say top background, since you want this is the div that will be on the top of the background, in front of the background. You're not gonna give anything in there, and then outside of that div we create another div, and then give it the class name of name content, and then inside of this main content we put an h1, which is a background tutorial, and then just a paragraph tag, learning how to put a background image on home page, and then let's put two button in here. The first button, which is learn more, and then the second button, we want to, let's say, just say contact us. So we want to give this button a class name of learn, and then give this other one a class name of contact. You will know later why I'm putting on I'm giving them different class name. I will show you guys later in a video, but for now just follow along. And yeah, that's all that we need to do in our HTML. So we move on to our CSS file. So before we do that, let's just go to our browser and then refresh. As you can see, we got this. So this is like pure HTML, pure HTML, nothing there. So we move on to our CSS, and the first thing that we're gonna do, if you look into our browser, you can see there is space here on the edge here. So what we'll do there in our CSS, we have to reset everything to 0, and to do that we have to put the margin 0, the padding 0, and then the border, put everything, we reset everything back to 0. And then the next thing we want to call out is our wrapper div, which is this one, wrapper div. And then we want to give it a background of, let's say, gray. We want to give it a height of 100 V8, and then we want to give it a width of 100%, and then we want to position it relative. Come here and then refresh. As you can see, the whole home page is now gray. Then we move on to the next thing, which is our navigation here. Our navigation, this one, and to do that we move on, which is nav. We want to give it a background color of transparent. We want nothing on the background, and then we want to give it a width, let's say 90%. We want to give it a padding of, let's say, 20 pixel, and then we want to give it a margin of 0 pixel. We want to center it 0 pixel outer, and then we want to position it relative, to give it the relative. Then you can see, come to our browser, refresh. As you can see, it's like this. So we want, the next thing we want to do, it's before we move on, let's just keep everything in here a font family. We want to use Arial, and then we want to give the color of this, which is white, and then refresh. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is this navigation here. we want to remove this resting and then put it this side here. So to move on to the next URL, first we want to give it a width, let's say of 50%. We want to position it, let's position it absolute. Let's give it top. We want to give it, let's say 25%, and then right we want to give it a 30 pixel. Then you can see it's now here, and then we want to remove this resting and then align them in line. And to do that, we call it nav URL base. Get the resting, the restyle, we don't want any. As you can see, the dots here are now gone, and then we want to align them to display them in line block. As you can see, they are now in line, but then we want to put space in here, and to do that we set the margin to 0, margin, let's say margin left, want to set it to 0, but then we call nav URL list not the first child. We want to give it the margin left, let's say of 50 pixel, which what we did here is we gave the navigation a 50 margin left, but we excluded the first child, which is this one. This one is not moving. We just gave the margin on these three. So we move on to that. Then the next thing we want to do is this. Let's just give our nav a padding. Let's give it maybe a padding of 40 pixels so we can move it down. Here, move it bit down, and then this maybe to 35%. Okay, perfect. Now what we want to do, we want to change the width, the font size of this, and then this one as well. And then what we can do, then we have nav h1. We want the font size, let's make it 30 pixel. Then we want the font weight, let's make it 800. Then refresh. As you can see, it's now big. Then we want to change the font size of this one as well, and to do that we come here, font size, let's make it 20 pixel with a font weight of 800. Font weight of 800. Refresh, weight 20 pixel. Sorry about that. 20 pixel. Refresh. I think 20. It's 20 pixel. That's too big. Let's make it 14 pixel. 14 pixel. Perfect. Now let's move it 37 up. Okay, then we want to put this image has to be in the background. our backgrounds. But before we do that, let's just put our hover effect on here. Once you hover it, you want to put the cursor, want to make the cursor as a pointer, and then once you move your wrist, you want them on hover, you want the color to be green. Come in, refresh, and then green. But then you want to put a transition on there. 2.9 second is, so it's coming in easily, see, on the slow motion. So now let's move on. Let's put this image on our back. We want it to appear on the back there, and let's just give this navigation as the okay, let's move on to the page, give it a background. And to do that, you already know this image is in this div here, which is background. We call it as a background. We give it a width of 100%, a height of 100%. We want to position it absolute. We want to give it a margin to the top at 0, and then on the left 0. You can see it's not moving, and to do that we have to set the image, the background image, we want to give it a width of 100% and a height of 100%. Then come background image, let's see, background, this is background. So background, small caps, let's turn it into background. Yeah, just change this to small caps, as you can see it's now on the background. But then it cover everything. As you can see, it also cover our navigation. We can't see it, our navigation are behind the image. So to put this behind, we come here to our navigation. We want to give it a z index of 10, let's say 10, and then we want to give our background here a z index of 1. As you can see, it now move behind our navigation are now on top. You can select this, and then the image is at the back. So we also want to cover our image up with an opacity. So what we got here is this is where this div comes in. We create an empty div here. So what that div to, the name of that is top background. You want to give it a background color of black. You want to give it a width of 100%, a height of 100%, a position. You want to position it absolute. You want to put the margin to the top to 0, and then the left to 0. Then we refresh. As you can see, you can't see it, so we have to put it on the front. We give it a z index of 2, since we want it to be in front of our image got a z-index of 1. Now this we give it a z-index of 2, and then refresh. If you refresh, as you can see, it cover our whole image. Now you want to see the image on the background, and to do that we gave this an opacity let's say of 60%. You want it to be see-through, and to do that refresh. You can now see the image on the background. So we'll move on to the next thing, which is our main content here. So to do that main content, we come in here. As you can see, you can't see it in here, it's behind everything, so we have to call it which is main content. We want to position it relative. We want to give it a relative. We want to give it a width of, let's say, 60%. We want to give it a margin to the top. We want to, let's say, give it a z-index, since you want to bring it forward of 3. We want to give it in front of this and this, and then we come here, we refresh. As you can see, it's now here, it's on the front, but then we want to center everything there. So we want to text align everything to the center, and then we want to give it a margin. We want to center it of 0 pixel outer. And then what you see, everything is now centered, but then we want to move it a bit down, and to do that we gave it a margin on the top, let's say 50 pixel. We refresh. Now down, just move it a bit down, let's say 90 pixel. Okay, and then we want to change the font size of this, and then this, and then move this, make this nicely. And to do that, come to the main content h1. We want to give it a font size of 60 pixel. So let's give it a font size of 50 pixel. A font weight of 800. Font weight of 800. But then yes, and then we want to move this down, so we can just put some margin at the bottom here. Let's say margin bottom to 30 pixel. And see, the text are now down, so let's say the font size of this, and then this as well. So we move on to the next thing, which is main content, which is the P. We want to change the font size to, let's say, 23 pixel. The font weight we want to make it 800. You can see it's now too big. Let's just change this to, let's say, 65. Okay, and then we want to move this button down here. These are our buttons. We want to move them down, so let's put some margin to the bottom of our paragraph. Let's put them 30 pixel. As you can see, our buttons are now there, so let's put some styling to our button. As you can see, there is nothing there just here. So what we'll do, we call it the main button. We want the font size let's give it to, let's make it 14 pixel. The font weight, we want to make it 800, and then we want to give them a width, let's say 35%, and then some padding of, let's say, 10 pixel. Like that, 10 pixel. So now let's so we want to style this. Let's just give it to style it, and then give it some space here. And to do that, let's just give it a margin of, let's say, 20 pixel. Put some space in there. Let's just increase the padding to 20 pixel. Make them nice and big. Yep, that's perfect. So we want to style it, and now this is where this, as you can see, we gave our button different class name. So now we have to style them differently. At first we start with this one, with a len. To call it, just call it len, which is len. We want the background to be transparent. Want to give it a background of transparent, and then the color, we want to give it white, transparent. If you refresh, as you can see, it's transparent. But then we want to give it a border so that you can see. Let's give it a border of 1 pixel solid with this color white. So you can see, if you refresh, you can now see it like this. But then we want to style this as well. To style that, just to call it the same, it's contact, our button name, class name there, it's contact. So you contact, you want to give it a background color of this. We want to give it a border as well of 1 pixel solid, and then the color, we want to make them black. We want to make them black. And then refresh. As you can see, haven't really changed that much. And yeah, we want to give it some hover effects here. Some hover once you hover it. So to do that, we come in here, the concept, the len, once you hover it, we want to give it a background color. Background, let's say green. Give it the color of green, and then we want to set a transition to 0.8 second is, and then we want to set the pointer, the cursor, want to make it pointer. Green, now green, but then nothing changes here, so you want to set the same effect to this one. And to do that, we want to call it concept on hover, you want to give it a background, let's say of black, and then the color you want to keep it white, and then the transition 1.8 second is, and then we want the cursor to be a pointer. Over black, this green, black, green, black, green, black, green, black. So yeah, that's how you add a background image on your home page. As you can see, it's perfect. So let's just add some styling here to our agent. Let's have some fun. Page one, let's say like some text text shadow. We want to give it 1, let's give it 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 8 pixel, green, and then refresh. As you can see, it got some shadow, some green shadow there, some green shadow. And then you can do the same thing to our paragraph as well. To our paragraph as well, some shadow there. Let's just change this to, let's say 5, and then this to 1. See some shadow. So yeah, just playing around with codes, but yeah, that's how you add a background image on our on your home page. I hope you enjoy the video, and make sure you hit a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and subscribe, man. I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys in the next video. So I'm out.